Welcome back to another vlog, and today I'm bringing you on my trip to China. So after my Part A exam, I had some free time before I started my Part B exam. So I decided to go to China, and specifically I went to Sichuan, Yibin, as well as Hangzhou during this trip. So a fun fact about me, my mom is actually from China and her hometown is Yibin. So this time I'm back to see my relatives and my grandmother. And honestly, since COVID, it's been 2 years since I've been back in China, and it feels great to finally be back again. So it goes without saying that the food here is amazing, but I've also been trying to recreate my childhood memories of times when I've been back to see my grandparents, and taking this trishaw, which is also called the sanlunche, was one of those amazing moments, and you can see how crazy the traffic is. A quintessential part of the Sichuan culture is gambling. So this is us playing poker cards. Other than that, in Sichuan it's very popular to play mahjong in the afternoon. We even have cha guan, which is like houses especially for playing mahjongs and not drinking teas. So after a few days in Sichuan, we hopped on a flight to Hangzhou. This place was about 3 hours away, and you can see it's very different. Hangzhou is a very big city that's very developed. I would say Hangzhou would be more similar to Singapore in the sense that all your big luxury brands will be here, your top restaurants will be here as well. And one of the restaurants we visited was called 桂语山房. And this restaurant has 1 Michelin star, and it features the local Zhejiang cuisine. There was also incorporation of some traditional calligraphy as well as tea pairings, and I think that's something we don't really see in Singapore. And now I'm reading something like a fortune cookie. The way I would describe Zhejiang cuisine would be less greasy and milder as compared to something we're familiar with like mala. So that was the end of our very short getaway to Hangzhou, and we went back to Yibin after this. So I think you can tell that there is quite a contrast between the big cities and the small cities. So now I'm following my grandmother to Ganqi. Essentially, in the more rural parts of a city where you don't have access to supermarkets and you're closer to the farmers, every 1 or 2 days of a week, the farmers will come into the city to sell their produce. So these are sold really cheap because they're directly from the farmers themselves, and we could get like a bunch of spring onions for like 1 renminbi, which is about 20 cents Singapore dollars. On a separate note, we need to talk about EVs because they are very popular in China right now. The government is trying to encourage everyone to get EVs because they're more environmentally friendly, and you don't even have to pay tax on your cars if you get an EV. One thing I realized is that small cities like Yibin are being developed very quickly to attract more growth as well as tourism. But some things still stay the same, like this candy called matang, which you can find on the streets. Another huge development is in transportation. So now the gaoties are very advanced. So these are high-speed rails. They can connect just about almost every city in China, and the duration is shortened by a lot because now they're going at a whopping speed of 200 kilometers an hour, or even 300 sometimes. So now moving between cities, it has become really convenient, and you no longer have to think about that 2-3 hour drive just to get to the nearest train station. Okay, now let's finally talk about food. I do say this, but I feel like the best cuisine in the world is Sichuan cuisine. This is my uncle. He is honestly a chef. He's cooking up some 回锅肉 as well as some really delicious soup that's been boiled for many hours. One great thing about living in the slightly more rural areas is you get to see amazing sunsets like this across a river, and it's a very quiet town. You don't get much noise from the city. But of course, every now and then we drive to the city and I have to get my bubble tea fix. There is so much variety for bubble teas, it's heaven if you like it. Here I'm trying sichuan, and in particular the yang mei flavor. And of course, when I pop by the supermarket, I have to pick up some local special potato chip flavors. And now I am trying the lime flavor. My cousin recommended it to me, and it's actually really good. And they had other flavors like suro, but I think I didn't have enough space to finish them. Okay, now back to more clips of my uncle chefing it up. His kitchen literally has a restaurant level gas stove. It's insane, and the food is so good. And of course, a trip to China is not complete without a little reunion with all of our relatives, and here they are figuring out what is the relation between everyone because the family tree is so complicated. Okay, this is one of our favorite places to eat when we're back. It's an old but gold noodle shop. They sell these taobao mian, which is knife-cut noodles. The soup and broth that they use is called kou mo, which is made out of different kinds of mushroom, and it's just very flavorful and tasty. Of course, I had to order other noodles like shengjiao niurou mian, which is chili and beef noodles. Some other famous 小吃, also appetizers that we have, include green bean soup, 宽粉, as well as 凉虾. Okay, I'm not sure if you've tried this before, but this is green bean ice cream. Trust me, it's quite good. I tried biting into it, but it was so hard. Oh my god! Okay, so how much chili and oil do we use in Sichuan cuisine? Yes, my grandfather would cook with an entire layer of oil, and let me tell you, that's the authentic way of making Sichuan food. So don't give me none of that, oh, it's too oily, it's too spicy. This is Sichuan food. It has to be done this way. Respect it. Okay, I'm a bit sensitive about this because food is a huge part about my culture. I think it's a common language for all of us in our family. We love to eat, we love to cook. And coming back has been such an eye-opener because I'm learning how my relatives are cooking, and I hope that someday I can reach this standard. Okay, so perming my hair is half the price in Singapore, so I had to get it done here and order bubble tea while I perm my hair. We also found this restaurant which served the traditional milk in a glass jar, and it just brought back a lot of memories for my mom. So when I say I was drinking 2 bubble teas a day, I was not kidding, because every time I saw a bubble tea shop, I was like, I have to get there. We also had a lot of fun singing karaoke at home, and in the morning I would follow my grandmother to get breakfast. This is something called 油炸糕, which is I think quite special to Sichuan. This is a Sichuan version because they put Sichuan peppercorn inside, and we drink it with soybean. Okay, now we're finally at the night market. I used to be really excited to go because there would be so much street food there, but I think they started clamping down because of hygiene reasons, and now there's much less. But still, we tried some of my favorites like fried cuttlefish and some jelly. You can also get little trinkets here and there like beaded bracelets and as well as incense. And on the last day, we made yibin with my grandmother. This is a traditional kind of dumpling thing. It's made with glutinous flour on the outside, and inside we wrap minced pork with yacai and spring onion. It's a savory, very delicious dish. It's supposed to look like a pig. And with that, it was my last day in China, and it was really sad saying bye to my grandma because I know it'll be a while before I come back. But I'll try my best to make time and visit her whenever I can. Okay, I know the voiceover dragged a little bit into this Taobao haul, but yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm unboxing a bunch of stuff that I bought from Taobao. The voice quality wasn't so good, so I'm going to do a voiceover now. Essentially, I bought some light for my monitor, some wrist wraps, some cushion for the car seat, as well as I think this is a computer sleeve thing, computer stand. And then I got my phone cases because they were really quite cheap, as well as some magnetic card holder. And one thing that I got that was quite cool is this thing by Moft. I think that's the brand. It's a magnetic strip that connects to your phone, but it can also act as a stand, so it converts into a stand and you can film yourself with it. So I think it's perfect for my vlogger lifestyle. I loved it. Okay, and with that is the end of the vlog. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. It was very chitty chatty because I have so much to share about going to China, and I thought that was quite special. But yeah, stay tuned for the next vlog, which might also be another trip to China vlog.